What if your ability to buy a plane ticket, get a loan, or even send your kids to a good school depended on a score you didn't even know was being calculated about you? That's not a dystopian movie plot. That's already happening in multiple countries right now, and the systems are spreading faster than most people realize. China's social credit system gets most of the headlines, but the full picture is far more complex and far more alarming than what's reported. China began piloting its system around 2014, with the State Council publishing its foundational document called the Planning Outline for the Construction of a Social Credit System. By 2018, Chinese citizens had been blocked from purchasing plane tickets over 17 million times and train tickets over 5 million times, according to official government data. People labeled as untrustworthy were publicly named on blacklists, their faces displayed on billboard screens in cities like Jinan and Hangzhou. But here's what most Western coverage misses. China's system isn't one unified score. It's actually a fragmented patchwork of over 80 regional and industry-specific systems that often don't communicate with each other. Some track financial behavior. Others monitor court judgments. Some are run by corporations like Alibaba through its Sesame Credit platform. Researchers at the Merix Institute in Berlin published a detailed 2019 analysis showing the system is less like a single Big Brother score and more like dozens of overlapping surveillance databases with wildly inconsistent rules. But whether it's unified or fragmented doesn't make it less dangerous. The outcomes are real. A 2021 study in the journal China Quarterly tracked 1,074 individuals who appeared on blacklists and found that 68% experienced significant restrictions on economic activity within 6 months of being listed. Now here's the part that should concern everyone outside China. Similar scoring infrastructure is quietly being built elsewhere. In 2019, Italy's city of Bologna experimented with a smart citizen app that rewarded residents with points for taking public transit, recycling properly, and visiting cultural institutions. Those points could be exchanged for discounts and civic services. The city called it engagement. Critics called it the beginning of behavioral conditioning. In 2020, Russia expanded its digital pass system during COVID lockdowns, tracking citizen movement through QR codes that could be revoked based on compliance with state health directives. The infrastructure built for that system was never fully dismantled. Pakistan launched its National Socioeconomic Registry in 2021, which scores households for welfare eligibility based on behavioral and financial data. In the United States, the conversation gets uncomfortable. American companies have been quietly running what researchers call shadow scoring systems for years. Insurance companies use credit scores and behavioral data to price policies. Banks use alternative data including social media activity and shopping patterns to assess loan risk. Tenant screening companies generate rental scores. The difference from China is that these are corporate systems rather than government systems, but the behavioral modification effect is identical. A 2022 report from the Federal Trade Commission found that 26 million Americans had errors in these alternative data profiles that could not easily be corrected. The deeper concern is what researcher Shoshana Zuboff calls behavioral futures markets. When your behavior generates data that predicts your future actions, that data becomes a commodity that shapes the choices available to you. You might not have a government number stamped on your forehead, but if your insurance premium rises because an algorithm decided you're high risk based on your Netflix habits and your grocery purchases, the functional outcome is the same. Your past behavior is constraining your future options. So what can you actually do? First, request your data from all major data brokers. In the US, companies like Axiom, LexisNexis, and Experian are legally required to respond to access requests. Second, pay attention to which apps you grant location and behavioral access to. Third, support data protection legislation in your country. The EU's GDPR is imperfect, but it's the strongest legal framework we have. The systems being built today will shape what freedom looks like in 20 years. Pay attention now while you still can.